We'll start with Tyler Donahue.
Good morning, Noah. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you. First time you've had to recover from a full football game in a while. How are you feeling physically coming off of that Wisconsin game? And what did it do for you moving forward to have that game under your belt?
Yes, I'm just feeling blessed right now. I'm feeling really relieved just coming out that first game healthy, and with that being my first start, it's just I was a lot of energy, just a lot of emotions coming out of that game, and it was just a blessing to be part of that type of win. It was just a great atmosphere for us to be a part of, and just for our defense to have our backs from that many possessions, and then we still come out on top. Man, it was just a great overall team win.
Audrey Snyder.
Hey, Noah, thanks for your time.
Yes, man.
I wanted to ask you, how do you think you're a different or better running back now than the guy we saw for those 3 or 4 snaps in Bloomington last October?
Yes, man. I just feel like I'm more prepared, and I just feel like I'm more mature and a better student of the game. This offseason, I really had to focus on my body, so I just really started just really honing in on even more just the foods I put in my body, how I train, how I stretch. It's how I prepare. I just want to prepare like a pro, so I just started watching a lot more NFL guys and just started doing more homework on them, seeing how they prepare for the game, seeing how they, to study film, seeing how they, just run and just different things I could pick up on to add to my game. And so I just feel like I'm just a whole lot more mature and just a better student of the game right now, which is help the game slow down for me and just help me better prepare better as a student of the game.
Rich Garcella.
Good morning, Noah. What was the worst part for you last year? What was the low point? And when you dreamed about this year, what did you dream about?
Yes, last year getting hurt the third play of the game is never in anyone's head. When it had happened, it was just a very it was a humbling time for myself because that was just the first time of me having to really be sidelined for that period of time, and I really had to learn how to embrace the process every day. With going through the rehab and going through a lot of roller coasters within that injury. Some weeks being good, some weeks being bad. It was uncomfortable for a time period. Just having to get used to that new normal. Coming out of that surgery and just having to adjust mentally and physically. It was very challenging, but just my support system, just my faith, just really helped me persevere through all that. And like I said, I'm just thanking God to be where I'm at right now, just ecstatic, going into this next week.
Justin Morgenstein.
Noah, you talked about it a little bit on Saturday after the game, but what did Saturday mean to you and your family, after especially what's gone on in your hometown over the last week?
It was a surreal moment with all that's going on in the world right now. And for my aunt and cousin, my dad, make it up to the game, through all the midst of the hurricanes and all that. It was just a blessing to see them after the game and be able to celebrate, that brief moment I had with them. Like I said, it was just exciting, for me to be able to go out there and play the game that I love again, and for my mom, dad, and the rest of my family to be in the stands. It was just it was an unreal moment, something I'll always remember and never forget.
Donnie Collins.
Noah, you mentioned maturity and patience earlier. Did that kind of show up for you on Saturday after the first half where nothing much was really going on, and then you were able to break that big run that kind of opened up things for you guys? Was that kind of an example of the maturity and the patience that you were talking about?
Yes, sir, most definitely. I think, the younger me would have kind of been more frustrated not having as many carries in the first half and letting that get in my head. And then, that would affect, me handling my business and other players of the field. So I think just me understanding the aspect of the game, just being ready whenever your number is called, just doing anything that the coaches are asking of you. I think that just helped me just have that patience and just trust what the coaches were telling us in the second half. We're going to get it together. We're going to get the chemistry going. Just for us to make that push in the fourth quarter against a team like Wisconsin on the road, that was just big time on the whole group of offense. So, like I said, it was a great overall team win. Just real excited to get back out there, and just overall, just can't wait for next week.
Nate Bauer.
Hey Noah, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good. Hey, when you got hurt last year, did you hear the conversation and opinions of people saying that maybe you were injury prone? And was that something that you had to shake? Like, did you have to ignore that? How did you kind of handle that perception of you?
It's funny you said that. I heard that a lot. Like just a lot of different people, just comments and things I hear. All you can do is really do is just keep your head down and keep working because what people say, you can either let that break you or just build you. So honestly, for me, like I said, that's what made me even more want to focus on how I prepare, how I eat, how I train, just due to the fact that I've had some injuries, but this is part of the game though. I wouldn't change it for anything because it's helped me become the person I am right now. So like I said, it has helped me prepare, become a better student in the game, help me just train better, help me just learn different parts of my body that I do need to work on. It just helped me just learn different things that that help me make a better player. So yeah, I heard a lot of those things, but at the end of the day, I didn't let that break my confidence or break how I prepare and train. So it has made me a better person and player.
New bias Wilborn,
I remember last year you couldn't go home because of COVID. When's the last time you've been back home, and what has it been like being so far away from your people and then getting to see them over the weekend?
Yeah, so last time I was home was probably the end of June. I had a few days off and was able to go see my family. And like I said, just anytime that I can, I try to go back home because it's very rare, within our football schedule. So just being able to celebrate with them and like I said, through the midst of the hurricane, through the midst of all the adversity they had to go through just to get to Wisconsin, that just shows you how much they love me, and that just shows the type of support system that I have with all the love and just care. And just being able to celebrate with them after the game, it was just a great feeling. And I'm just glad and blessed they were able to be there and support me.
Joe Giuliano,
Good morning, Noah. I wanted to ask you about Sean Clifford. How do you think he performed Saturday? What was he like in the huddle, and especially on the sidelines with you guys when the defense was on the field?
Yeah, man. Sean's just a leader, man. He just kept the offense calm and collected, through the first half, when we weren't really getting anything going. And then just at halftime as well, just keeping our confidence up. He just kept the whole offense whole as one. He didn't start letting anybody point fingers. He just kept telling the offense as well, just, we're gonna start making plays, we're gonna get the things going, we're gonna get the offense going. As y'all seen, we started getting some things going in the second half. So he's just a great leader, man. He's been a great leader for us all summer, through summer workouts, through camp. And I wouldn't rather have any other quarterback than him in that backfield. So he's just a great leader that we have right now. I'm just looking forward for him to keep leading us this season.
Frank Bodani,
Hey, Noah. We still really haven't seen you with a full workload in a game since your freshman season. So with all that time healing, recovering, rehabbing, can you give me an example of how your body, how are you different now than as a freshman? Like, how are you stronger, faster, whatever?
Yeah, like I said, it really just came from how I train, how I eat. The main thing was how I eat, how I sleep. And honestly, just how I keep my mental prepared. And I just started doing a lot of different things, focusing on the small things, more stretching, there's more extra things for my body that, that helped me take my game to the next level. Started studying more film so the game could slow down even more for me, which was a big thing I wanted to work on, coming into this next season. I just want the game to slow down for me even more and just really just prepare like a pro. So like I said, I just started doing a whole lot more homework and studying film on NFL guys, just to see how they, handle their business on the next level so it can help me prepare even better. And I just think my mental, I just feel like my physical trait right now is just, I've been working on a lot of, like single leg work for my body, for my calves, for my ankles, just focusing on every aspect of my body, that it helped me just make the best player that I can be.
Elton Hayes,
Hey, Noah, thanks for the time this morning. You had that pretty game-defining 16-yard reception there in the fourth quarter that kind of set up the score. Coach Franklin talked about your ability to slip arm tackles and stuff like that post-game. What are some things you did last year? I know you were, couldn't practice or anything like that, but what are some things you did to kind of help yourself as a pass catcher and get better in that role?
Yeah, the biggest thing with that was, I stayed on the jug machines, every day throughout camp, every day throughout this off season, just staying on jugs machine, just working on my hands at all times, working on my strength, my grip, and everything is like that. So I think, like I said, just came from my preparation, just my training, like I said, I wanted to focus on every aspect of my game this offseason just to help me make myself the best player I can be coming into this year. So I think all those things is, to start and help me, and I'm starting to see the benefits of it.
Kyle Andrews.
Hey, Noah, how's it going? The first thing I wanted to ask you was just when it came to pass protection, I know you made a bunch of good pickups. How have you worked on your pass protection during the off season and during camp as well?
Yeah, I think pass pro is one of the hardest things to do, honestly, just for any back, you're blocking, big physical guys, sometimes physical freaks. So it just takes a lot of it's a 1-2. Of course, Sada always says it's a 1-2. It's just a matter of how much will you want to have when you do it. So it really just came from, like I said, just studying film on NFL guys, my similar body frame and weight, seeing how they pass protect, and then really just working on it every day in practice. It was something that, myself need to work on, and the rest of the backs as well. So that's just something Coach Sada had us doing in practice a lot, just working on that, going against the linebackers every day in camp, just doing a lot of drills is going to help us, just be a better pass protector on the field. So I think, like I said, all that training and preparation that we've been doing, up to that point, is what helping us on the field.
Tyler Donahue.
You've got 4 other guys in that running back room, at least 4 other guys who think that they should be out there playing every Saturday, I'm sure. Not many touches for the other guys on Saturday. We don't know what that's going to look like, but how have you seen this group stay sharp, stay focused, even though, week by week, guys are going to be left on the sideline?
Yes, I think it really just comes from Coach Sada's leadership, just telling them like it's got to stay as one, because like I said, last year I got hurt third play of the game, and then Kevon had to be ready to go. So honestly, it's a game of inches. Football is a physical game, so really just standing in the guys' ear saying, at any given point you could be a starter, at any given point you could be playing. And I think, Coach Franklin is always just telling us, prepare like you're the starter, because honestly, if you're not prepared for that moment, then you're going to regret it. So I just think that comes from Coach Sada's leadership, which is telling us always be ready to go, always be ready to play, because you have to prepare like you're the starter. Because like I said, my situation last year, you honestly do have to be ready at any point of the game to be ready to go in, and handle your business on the field. So honestly, Coach Sada is keeping us as one, keeping us as a brotherhood. I think that's what helps us, stay, with a positive attitude.
Audrey Snyder.
No, you mentioned a few times on here about watching NFL running backs and trying to study them. Who do you watch? And I know you've worked with Josh Hicks, and obviously Josh has worked with Ezekiel Elliott. Have you and Zeke ever connected, or who you watching?
I wouldn't mind working up with Zeke. That'd be what's up. I was supposed to one time this summer, but I had a class conflict when I was just online with Zoom. So I was supposed to work on with him one time, but honestly, Coach Hicks is just always telling me, different tips Zeke could tell him that help him with this game. I try to watch guys like Ezekiel Elliott as well, Nick Chubb, Alvin Kamara, and then I just try to watch like guys, Christian McCaffrey as well. Just guys that are at the top of their craft right now, at the top of the league, just, balling. And honestly, just seeing how they run the ball, it's really just watching, different YouTube clips on them, just seeing how they prepare and just what their mental's like. So all those different things, just really just benefited me and helped me, get back to where I'm at right now.
So you didn't skip the Zoom to go work with Zeke?
I had a test that day, so I couldn't. I tried to, but I had a test that day.
I got you. Thanks, Noah.
No problem.
Rich Scarcella.
Noah, the offensive line struggled at times on Saturday, and I was just wondering, what do you do? What do you say to them? And also, where do you see them going the rest of the season? Thanks.
I feel like we had one of the best O-lines in the country. Through those struggles in the first half, the whole running back group kept going over to those guys and just loving on them, saying, we're going to get it together. We're going to get it going. I feel like as a whole offense, we were thinking too fast. So, it's first few drives. And, once we settled down, then we got, we were starting to get things going. So, I feel like our O-lines, they're going to get together this week. Y'all going to be able to see, all the work they put in. They prepared like no other O-line I've ever seen. Like, those guys are always in every weekend doing extra film work, doing extra work. Coach Tryon is a great coach, one of the best O-line coaches I've been around. So, I mean, they're going to get together this week. Those guys work hard, one of the hardest working groups on the team. So, like I said, y'all going to be able to see all the work they put in, and all the hours they put in too.
Time for 2 more. Donnie Collins.
Kevon, no, it looked like Kevon tried to make some big plays where there was, maybe a yard or two to gain, and then he tried to bounce it out and lost a couple of yards a couple of times on Saturday. How difficult a balance is that for a young back to strike, where you want to gain what's there, but you also want to make a big play? Is that a lesson you got to learn as a young back?
I think it is. I think any young back coming into college, like even for myself, you try to like rush things sometimes because it's not high school. You got to adjust the speed of the game. You got to adjust to how fast and physical guys are playing. So you just have to get a better feel for the game. And like Kevon, y'all see strong, balanced, fast dude. So yeah, he has all the potential in the world. Just just the nature of the play. But like I said, like I think for any young back, you're trying to just learn the feel of the, get a better feel for the game, and just get that better patience. So I just feel like I said, Kevon's gonna be a baller, man. And, y'all gonna see all the work he's put in as well. He's his body frame and size is incredible. So yeah, he's a dog as well.
Last question, Tobias Wilborn.
Man, what class was that, and how did you do on the test? And what does that say about you as a student being willing to be that dedicated to your studies?
Man, that was my Spanish 2 class, man. I finished. It was tough. I think I finished with like a 75, 77, but I passed it. But it was one of my Spanish 2 classes that I just had to handle business on that. But working with Coach Hicks, just that day, just being able to hear that knowledge and wisdom, Zeke that'll get a Hicks, and then I'll be able to receive as well. It's a blessing overall.